Hi, Rachel. Good morning.
Hi, Mary. How are you? How are you today?
Good. Yeah, I'm in good form today.
Good, good. So today we're talking about how to become a compassionate leader.
Yes, it's a lovely subject, how to become a compassionate leader. So, where do we start? Well, I suppose starting with being given self compassion first, because as you know, we say in coaching, you can't give to others what you don't have for yourself. So, if I don't have respect for myself, how can I respect others? So, being compassionate, first of all, let's look at ourselves. So, how do we be compassionate to ourselves? So, we stop the inner critic. Being compassionate is being kind to ourselves. So, instead of giving out to ourselves when we make a mistake or anything, is to be kind to ourselves. Ask for help when we need to. Ask for support when we need to. So, and compassion is all about not working towards unexpected expectations of yourself, because that is where you start criticizing yourself. So, having real expectations for yourself. And then when you do that, you can pass that on then in the work that you do with other people. So, that's really self compassion.
And what's the difference between compassion and empathy?
Okay, big difference, really, Rachel. And it's a really good question. Let's go with empathy first. So, empathy is where you are showing somebody that you understand, you're demonstrating to them you understand how they feel, that you've walked in their shoes. Now, be aware empathy has been misused a lot with friendships, where somebody will say to you, I understand how you're feeling. And you're going, how the hell do you understand when you've never been there? So, it can be unused. The mode of feeling empathy can be unused very badly. But empathy is about walking in the shoes, understanding and mirroring the pain or joy that that person is going through. Now, you can do this for a while, but the brain can't sustain you mirroring that pain all the time. So that's the reason we say it's always really nice to have empathy, but move into being compassionate rather than just showing empathy all the time as a leader. So to become a compassionate leader, you need to be able to show the people that you are you're understanding them, you're feeling the pain in the room, you're with them, you're supporting them, and you have realistic expectations. You're meeting their needs and you're showing them that you understand and support them. That's what becoming a compassionate leader is all about.
And what's the importance of becoming a compassionate leader? I mean, what would be the outcome?
Well, when people feel understood and when people feel valued, they add value to the business. When people's needs and expectations are being met, they are going to want to share that vision with you far more. They want to get the results with you far more because they know they have somebody that's supportive. They know they have somebody that you can talk to about something that has happened, whether it be something emotional or not. And at times you can show empathy, but it's more important to be compassionate with them and understanding with them. And as you know, at the moment in the climate we're in, Rachel, it's all about being compassionate to ourselves and compassionate to others. If ever it was called for in leadership, it's called for now.
Yeah, because it was something I recognized in recruitment. I mean, I was in recruitment for years, and you'd be asking the question, so why are you leaving your current position? And they'd start off, oh, just, career progression, But then when you got down to the nitty gritty, they were leaving because of their boss or their manager. They didn't feel heard. They didn't feel, they didn't feel they were growing within the role. They just didn't get on with the boss. So it's important. You're right, Mary. It's so important to,
Well,
to understand the needs of your employees.
well, what we say usually is people, 9 out of 10 people don't leave a position or work because of money. It's usually because of people. It's usually because, as you said, like you said, they're not being valued, they're not being listened to, they're not being understood, they're not being supported, and they're all the competencies of a compassionate leader. Being there, being able to share the pain with them in the room, being able to get them to see there's another way out of this, sharing the vision and sharing what their needs are and what needs to be given to them that get them on the road to achieving that result. So yes, very much. If you're working with somebody that has no compassion and no empathy, it's very difficult. Really.
Oh, yes, I've worked with them, and but I understand it as well because when you're a leader or when you're a manager, you're on a mission. You are focused, you have a job to get done. So getting the balance can sometimes be misunderstood by employees thinking, they don't really care, but really they're just on a mission. So how do they get the balance right, where they're driven and
Yeah.
compassionate?
That's a really, really good question because we all as leaders want to show the vision we want to achieve and the results we want to get. How we get there with our team is what counts. And for people that aren't showing compassion, as you said, you've been there with a boss that just wants this, and especially in recruitment, they just want this amount of work done and sales in and whatever delivered on such a date that the project is over, must be reached. That's very driven. However, you can still be driven, but not to the false ceiling of the ego, like where everything is about, we have to do this, we have to do that. You can be driven by saying, get you on board, let's work together. We know the results we want to achieve. We know the vision. Let's understand each other, work together and achieve this in a very understanding way, and dealing with along the way any pain in the room and what needs to change to make the difference, and being able to, be compassionate all along the way. So as I said before, working really from the heart as well as the mind, combining the two of them, at work can work very well.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking of again, the temperament test, in my own experience, not speaking for everyone now, but my own experience, dealing with high reds. Yes, driven and a little not as much compassion, but I understand why,
Yeah, oh, you're very true there. Well, actually, it's funny. Both can show no empathy. The Reds, when they, they have a moment where they lose it, and fiery Reds, we call them. Yeah, they're not showing any compassion. But sometimes the cold blues are known for being cool because they don't wear emotions on their sleeves. They don't sometimes use the words "I feel," "I understand" with their staff. So remember, the cool blues can hide empathy as well and might not show up a lot as well. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's all really interesting. So if someone was watching today and would like to become a compassionate leader, how can they work with you, Mary?
Well, they would just contact me. I do one-to-ones and I do group work as well. So you can contact me at marycurran.ie or marycurranonline.com, or on Facebook, Centre for Professional and Personal Development. And my mobile is 086 232 8143.
And all the videos are up on your website, which are great, a bit biased. They're amazing because I'm there. And and next week, Mary, what do we cover next week?
Next week, we're going to cover tolerations and boundaries, because people can't set boundaries if they do not want, if they're not aware what to tolerate in their lives. So just a little chat on tolerations and boundaries.
Oh, I could add a lot to that one.
Great.
Okay, Mary, look, thanks a million, and I'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week, Rachel.